The next one that I'm concerned about, and again, I want to get your take on it, is the Diaz and Gakpo situation. Barcelona are still kind of flirting with the Diaz stuff. Deco's been talking again about that. Bayern Munich are interested in Cody Gakpo. And this piece here from Alto Belli, who the fuck that is, but Anfield Sector have said, Bayern Munich have both Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz on their list. Cody Gakpo is of particular interest to Max Erbel, but Liverpool won't sell for less than €70 million, which is about £60 million. So I want to ask what you would do. If you were Liverpool Football Club, would you sell for £60 million if you were offered it right now from Bayern Munich? Just for a bit of fun. I'm not trying to hang anybody out to dry. You know, you're more than happy to say yes, no, or whatever. But I just think it'll be an interesting poll to kick us off tonight. So, right. So, would you sell Gakpo to Bayern for £60 million? Yes, no, or yes, I would, but for more money. And again, I'm not the one trying to say sell Cody Gakpo here. I've said it numerous times on this channel. I would happily have both those gents stay at the club. I like Gakpo. I like Diaz. I'm a happy Liverpool fan if they're in the team at the start of next season. So I'm certainly not wishing them away. But, you know, if the offers come in, we'll have to see what happens. And I really don't know. Diaz, I would say, if the number was met, the club would sell. But with Gakpo, I don't know. I just get the feeling that it would take more to get Gakpo away. It would have to almost be a number that Liverpool think is a silly high number. And I don't think £60 million is that number personally. And of course, he's got that Dutch connection to the squad as well, with Arne Slot, with Virgil van Dijk, with Jeremy Frimpong, with the new assistant manager coming in. So yeah, I don't think personally we sell him at £60 million. But Bayern have deeper pockets than that. Make them work for it. And they can have him for 85 mil, said Adam Roach. Well, then the third vote for you, sir. Yes, but for more money. I agree, by the way, Adam. I agree. I don't think £60 million is enough to make Liverpool go, ooh, that's a number we can't sell, we can't turn down. Yeah, it's kind of probably near enough his value, but certainly not a number that would make you go, oh, well, hang on a minute here. Now, we could do this, this, or this with that money. Yeah, we probably have to spend similar to get a similar quality player. So I'm kind of with you on that one. Shane said, I'd not sell our Giraffe Gakpo. Hang on, baby Giraffe was Matip, so he can't be full Giraffe because Joe Matip was bigger. Anyway, just me thinking out loud there. Jonathan said, hot take, Diaz is the best finisher in our squad. Yes, even better than Mo Salah. He rarely wastes big chances and is more versatile than Cody Gakpo as well. He's more, the words I would use, Jonathan, is more explosive than Cody Gakpo. That's the kind of phraseology I'd like to think of. But I think between them, we almost have a lovely balance on the left side of options for the manager. Maybe a bit more tactically astute with one, a bit more explosive with Diaz. Diaz seems to be better in and around the penalty area, but Gakpo's better shooting from distance. So I like it. I like both of them. That's why I'm saying I'd never be in a rush to get rid of either of them. But on a finish, Diaz knows where the goal is. I'll give you that. And he scores some very impressive goals. Think to leave Diaz or Gakpo go would need to be for an upgrade, but a fee for an upgrade, more money. What an upgrade is probably in the eye of the beholder. For instance, I've been banging the drum about Anthony Gordon quite a bit because I would view him as an upgrade over Diaz, but I'm not saying he's a better footballer than Diaz. I know, I'll try to explain this. He's got the age on Diaz, so he's got more years in him. The homegrown adds something else to the squad. And his pace gives us something that I don't think we have on the left side between Gakpo and Diaz. I'm not saying they're slouches, but they don't have that light and electric pace. Anthony Gordon also isn't the finished product, so I would expect Arne Slot to improve him if he came in. But yeah, like I said, like Malik Fofana. Right now, is he an upgrade on either of them? Maybe not, but would he be in the future? I guess these are the tough calculations that the club are going to have to put in this summer. But again, appreciate you clearing up the confusion over the Howard stuff. While I respect everyone's opinion, Gordon ain't it. He'd be an underwhelming addition, especially if you're losing either one of our left wingers. So, okay, let me try and play this out a little bit. So, we'll all agree, I hope, that both of the left wingers that we have now are very good, but also have some limitations. If we can start from that basis, that you might have 8 out of 10 things you like about Gakpo, 8 out of 10 things you like about Diaz, but you don't like all of them of each of them. They both have some different traits. So Anthony Gordon does bring his own attributes to the table as well. And as I said, pace is one of those. Homegrown's one of those. Playing for the badge, one of those. And sometimes a compromise, if it's for the homegrown quota and stuff, kind of has to be made somewhere. And all I can say is the interest is still there, as we've seen pointed out quite a bit. But I totally understand why people might look at him and go, no, not for me. We don't want Gordon. Respectfully, it doesn't matter what you want, or what I want for that matter. It matters what Arna wants. And we either trust the manager or we don't. We either trust the process and the recruitment or we don't. So we can all have our own opinions. Ultimately, that's absolutely fine. But when the manager brings in a player, we got to get behind that player. And we got to give the manager a chance to prove he was right or wrong. Because we'll all have opinions. God, fans, we're all full of opinions. That's our job. We get to do that. But Arne Slot will live and die in his Liverpool career by these decisions that they make. So if the manager deems that he wants Anthony Gordon for whatever reason, homegrown quota, anything, we got to get behind it, you know? There's no point in just saying, I don't want him, I don't want him, I don't want him. If it's happening, we got to get behind it and we got to welcome the player in. If he starts failing, if he's stinking the gaff up, by all means, we can have that conversation to say he ain't doing it. But like any other player that comes to the club, we got to give him the benefit of the doubt. For instance, I'll give you a good example. I didn't want Ryan Gravenberch. I was worried that Gravenberch wasn't going to cut the mustard. I was worried that he's moving around from Ajax to Bayern Munich, didn't get a look at in Munich, and I thought, is that right? But I was wrong. And I very quickly seen when he came in and he started playing, I was wrong. I got this completely wrong. The kid is way better than I was thinking. These are the professionals. They'll look at it, and if they see somewhere to put him or implement a player into the squad and get more out of him or coach him to a better position, all we can do is get behind him. And look, we have a right to complain if we don't like it. If he's not doing well, by all means. But from the start, whatever the manager goes with, we got to get behind it. Just read that Diaz could be off to Saudi for 80 million according to Anfield Watch. Is that euro or pound? If it's pound, then fucking that's a good deal. I'm not going to lie, mate. If you got 80 million quid for 29-year-old Luis Diaz with 2 years on his contract, I'm taking that. In all honesty, I am. 80 million quid. I'd take that if I was Liverpool. That's enough money to get your interest, in my opinion, 80 million. If it's pound. If it's euro, not so much. So we asked, would you sell Gakpo to Bayern for £60 million? And unequivocally, the answer is no. 71% said no. 16% said yes. And 13% said yes, but for more money. Or no, I'd want more money. So pretty clear on that one. And well done. By the way, very pleasantly surprised to see such overwhelming support for keeping Cody Gakpo, even at a higher price. So fair play. Are Munich in for Martinelli? So they've been in for Rafa Leão, Nico Williams, Martinelli, Gakpo, Diaz, Wirtz. They've been in for a lot of players this summer, but so far not really gotten one over the line that they want yet. And with all due respect, I like Gabriel Martinelli, but I think he's a tier below what they're looking for. I would have, you know what? It would have been really interesting if Martinelli had have moved to Liverpool in Klopp's time, because we know Klopp was a big fan. I wonder, would he have been better now than he is under Arteta? Or, I don't know, maybe he wouldn't be. But I've often sat there and wondered that, because knowing Jurgen Klopp was an admirer of his.